Hello, welcome to my channel. Vice Rhino here. Sir is over there. I forgot,
Kind of, sort of.
forgot to turn off my idea light. There we go. Hi.
Yay.
Oh,
Things are maybe working now.
the crop's actually not terrible. I don't have to fix it. Yay. Let's pretend I did that on purpose.
Anyway, so Rhino discovered something terrible just a second ago.
Yeah, so well, I mean, it's not like terrible. It's just, I blame KFox. It's KFox's fault.
Okay, why's that?
Because I had a call with KFox.
Uh-huh.
And part of that call, we discussed the issue that you had with your, thank you for the hat, Sakura? It's Sakura, yeah? I think it is.
Probably.
Yeah, no, and one of the subjects that we talked about was your stupid AI slopified text that you get through Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
And the call that I did with KFox was on Discord. And yeah, they were like, oh yeah, no, Discord is way better.
No, it's not.
So
No, not for
I was
this.
like, okay, I will use Discord for thing with Cirrus. And then
Yeah.
maybe Cirrus will be able to read the text on my screen. And
Unfortunately, because this is the issue that me and Ocean ran into, because we tried using Discord for our podcast years ago, and we ran into the problem where the bandwidth requirements of doing like a fairly in-depth video feed and trying to send it back and forth so that everybody is caught and everybody can be heard and everything else, like doing all that together does not lend itself well to the bandwidth crunching that Discord does, because Discord's primary job is to let you allocate a small amount of bandwidth so that your gaming does not get fucked up. And in so doing, there are certain sacrifices that are made, like
well,
video.
we need to find something other than what's it called, Zoom.
Other than Zoom.
Something that's actually meant to like be quality instead of AI quality, DLSS 5 and all that.
God, I'm on a whole fucking DLSS 5 rant. The only thing the softwares that come to mind immediately are unfortunately expensive softwares. And
Well, are we talking expensive once and it's yours, or are we talking not really all that expensive, but it's every month?
I'm trying to remember the one that Jimmy uses for the line, because that's
Oh,
the one that comes to mind immediately.
yeah. I did a trial of that once, but yeah, that is a what's it called?
That's a monthly one.
Yeah.
vMix, that's the one that they use.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and unfortunately, like that creates its own issue where like now you are completely subservient to the software.
Yeah. I mean, I could stream natively through Restream because this is a thing that yeah, again, it's a fucking subscription, but at least it's annually and it's not too like it's like $80 a year, which on the grand scheme of things is not all that much.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows me to stream to Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. I could stream natively in there, and there is a protocol in that for voice or video chat or whatever. So I could do that, but then I have to like reset all of my sources and whatnot in Restream in a browser-based thing, and it doesn't work with the Stream Deck, and I don't know. It's just more hassle than it's work. Ninjestray wants to see a better look at my shirt. It's just a rainbow love wins everywhere. It's a pajama shirt. It's very comfortable, and that's basically it. Thank you for the hydrate, Jassa. I didn't miss it.
And I wish more than anything that you could just opt out of AI bullshit on everything.
Yeah. I mean, I do have an update with the Surfshark thing. They're letting me not advertise their new AI feature that is integrated with Gmail. Because like that was the whole thing. Is like your whole thing is all about privacy, and now you want me to talk about a feature that you've teamed up with Google to read all your emails. No, thank you.
Yeah, that's not giving anybody privacy at that point. That's just a bad fucking idea.
Yeah, I mean, I forget exactly what the feature is. It's one of those things where like if it actually works the way it says that it works, it's kind of cool. But like so far with everything AI, it does not work the way that they say it works. So,
Fucking I am not only tired of the AI bullshit invading everything in our lives. I am tired of watching people who I once had any modicum of respect for become AI apologists. That's that one is that one hurts.
see,
I'm just like, man, look at this software that does nothing but steal work from people and doesn't improve shit. Why are you championing this?
yeah. Ninjestre says, "God damn it, Surfshark." No, but it's okay. They're not making me advertise the AI, and they do have a like. I really love. I actually do legitimately love the Clean Web 2.0 thing,
Mm.
where that's the one where like it declines all the non-essential cookies for you without you having to see the pop-up. It's really nice.
Oh, actually, you know what? On that note, there is Sean Helfin pointed out something that I'm excited about. Fucking Sora's dead.
Yes, I almost
Sora,
I almost pulled their tweet because I
like
wanted to make fun of them.
Sora died without even a year passing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And fucking on top of Sora dying, also Meta is dead.
I mean,
Like the
it's EOL,
it's EOL.
end of life. Like there no more updates, but we're not like he walked back the I'm killing it,
Oh,
and now it's
okay.
just no
So
more. It still works, but no more updates.
gotcha. Okay, so what you're describing as EOL, my brain usually use the word maintenance mode because for like an MMORPG, when an MMO is done, there's no more anything coming for it at all. It just the servers are up and that's it. It's just called maintenance mode for that. So my brain always goes like, yeah, that's just maintenance mode.
Yeah, no. I know it as EOL, and I know it that way largely thanks to my friggin' that's kicking around here somewhere. The Go XLR. I'm still salty about it not working anymore
Mm-hmm.
because it hasn't been updated since 2023, I think. And yeah, they say that they will update it again eventually, but that's a long time to go without any updates, especially after a recent Windows update bricked it.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite part about the AI things shutting down, especially with the metaverse and what, well, I guess that's VR more than AI, but like that's literally he was so intent on that being the future of the internet that he renamed his company to that. By the way, what is Sora? Sora is like if TikTok was only AI slop, and
Yep.
TikTok's already pretty close to that. So it was like a natively you generate your own video in the app and then post it sort of thing.
Which
And
means that you had an infinite creation machine with no server that could ever possibly hold that much data without crashing and
and
burning.
the very first things that people did with it was took the CEO of Sora and AI'd him to make it look like he was stealing GPUs from the local computer shop. So it was like made to look like CCTV footage of him like shoplifting these GPUs from the shelves. So it's like
Jesus.
when that's the first thing people do with your tool, does your tool really have much of a life?
Also, like this just it's such a pointless tool. It is such a pointless tool. The the purpose of a tool should always be to make something easier or make something better for people. Any tool that you make, it is to take some aspect of life and streamline it in a way that is beneficial for people. But we already had access to short form content. That was something that we already had access to. And
Mm-hmm.
even that's something that I don't think we should have access to because all the studies we've done on short form content show that constantly consuming it actually is like fucking correlated with dementia and shit. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But um, we already had short form content. It already was bad, and making a version of it where it is all AI generated and
There no,
there's no humanity to it.
yeah.
What's what is the point of
It's like
that? When I watch something,
there's only so many videos of Shrimp Jesus that are going to hold your interest.
yeah, like
Like
when I watch
that's
something on the internet, I think about the creative effort that went into making it. I think of how things were put together. If I'm just watching something that's fucking AI, like, yeah, I might get a chuckle after every 25th video. And
like
even then,
even like critical me like I love the God Awful Movies podcast.
mhm.
Recently, they I think it was on one of their side podcasts. They did like a short episode or whatever where they covered a Christian AI movie. Like they used AI to make the movie or whatever, and
Mhm.
I didn't even enjoy their podcast about it because like yeah, you're making fun of it because it did the fingers weird or whatever, but like nobody put any effort into that. That was just it was just something that somebody literally shat out. And it's
Yeah.
like there is no joy from even making fun of it. In that, like, we all know that it does fingers bad, and like so any bad decision with stuff like that, it's just like, yeah, but it's not human though, so I don't care.
Yeah, my want to consume this thing was predicated on the fact that a person made it. I want to know what their decisions were. I want to know what vision they put together. And yeah, technically, I say nobody, most people don't think of entertainment that way. Most people think of entertainment as just it's the thing that they put in front of their face that occupies them for an amount of time. I get that. That also frustrates me because that mentality is what directly leads to AI shit being what everybody enjoys or what everybody is okay with.
Well, that's the thing though. Is like, it didn't even occur to me that that's why I wasn't enjoying that particular God Awful Movies thing until like afterward, and like, why didn't I enjoy that? Well, if I sit down and think about it, it's like, oh, it's because it took the human element out. It's like, haha, the robot that was programmed to do stupid things did a stupid thing. Okay.
Yeah, and that's as far as you can go. That's as far as you can analyze at any point. Like fucking when the Steven Universe movie came out and they decided to make the villain of that movie Spinel. They decided to animate her differently than everybody else in the movie. She got animated with the spaghetti animation that Mickey Mouse used to be known for and the Looney Tunes used to be known for, where like there are no bones. There are no bones in these characters.
Cuphead style.
And what's up?
Cuphead
Yeah,
style.
Cuphead also uses that. So when they made the deliberate choice,
I okay. Not to sidetrack you, but I really do enjoy the fact that when I called it Cuphead style, you purposely took that and reworded it to remove the anachronism from it and be like, yes, Cuphead was also in that style.
well, yeah, because Cuphead is
I
emulating a style
I
of
am aware of
animation.
that.
Yeah, it's rubber hose style, not spaghetti style, but rubber hose style. So,
Is
it's
spaghetti
not
style
Cuphead
different because
style
spaghetti
because
makes I know.
yes, it's a thing that I'm enthusiastic about, so I'm gonna correct you. Um, anyway, the point that I'm making there is like the fact that she was animated differently than everybody else, that creative decision had weight. There was a reason that she was animated that
Mm-hmm.
way that tied into the story because her being animated that way was actually an explanation of her power set. She had effectively Toon Force where the other characters in the movie did not have access to. I am Bugs Bunny, therefore I can not give a shit about the rules of reality. She doesn't have that problem. She can just not give a shit about the rules of reality. That was a deliberate choice. The story behind why that choice is made, the reason why that choice is there, a director deciding that that is something that they want, like all of those things are things that I want to know about. I want to learn about when I enjoy something a ton. I don't give a shit anymore if it's just the robot spat it out that way.
So Eb the Nerd 6191 says Tommy Wiseau's The Room has more value than AI generated videos. I agree. The thing that was actually going through my mind that I was going to bring up is, God damn it, stop chatting. I keep clicking on things. I mean, don't stop chatting. I have no. This is for them. On the back end of YouTube told me today that there's fewer ads if there's more engagement. So the more you guys chat and send me money, the fewer ads you get. That's what YouTube told me. I don't know if it's true. I could see them lying about it, but anyway, what I was going to bring up is that stupid gay porn that we make fun of.
Oh yeah,
Like,
my daddy taught me how to make sure you doesn't pull the skin by using somebody else's mouth.
can you show me? I'd be right happy to.
Happy to. Yeah,
Yeah, that thing. So that is the kind of horrible, bad art that is like, it's just so human. You would never get that out of a machine. Like you, to your point about like, oh, the reason she was animated this way actually had implications within the world. Like there was a thought process that went into that. Even when it's garbage, there's still a human thought process going into it that makes it quintessentially human that the machine just doesn't copy. It like, right. The machine doesn't know why it does it. It just does it because it's seen other people do that.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that frustrates me about it is that like when the reason that something happens, when the answer is always the same thing, it feels reductive. It feels like something that I don't want to care about. So like, I'm sure you've had the conversation with people about entertainment where they say like, oh well, comedy is subjective. So like they say that about everything. So now suddenly when you and your friends are discussing the story of a comedy or whether certain jokes landed in a comedy, the answer is always, well, comedy is subjective. When you can use the same answer for everything ad nauseum, I not only get bored, but I get frustrated because that feels like a conversation that's no longer worth having. Like why are we having a conversation about this thing if the answer is always, well, the director wanted it that way?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a why there you're not exploring. Give me the why.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's... I don't even know how we got onto... Oh, yeah, because Zoom is stupid. And they AI-ified
Zoom
everything.
AI shit.
Yeah. Would I rather have AI or Manos the Hands of Fate? I feel bad for Torgo, okay? That poor guy was tripping on acid the entire time. He had no idea what the fuck was going on. And he just wanted out. But they just kept on, like, making the lady slap him. And, like, oh my god, the look on his face when she slapped him. It's like he was not expecting that, and he was tripping balls. So it was just like, ah! Sort of. Oh, have you seen Manos the Hands of Fate?
I have not.
Oh, it is... It's hard to watch because there's so many long extended shots where nothing happens. But then
so it's like Kubrick if Kubrick was bad.
But then suddenly there's a guy that's tripping on acid, carrying these people's luggage into the house while this jaunty oboe tune is going like do 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 do, and it's a horror movie, but it's like this little jaunty like do 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 like every time he's on screen walking. Why did they do that? I don't know. I'm fascinated by that.
Yeah, the why is entertaining. The why is fun. Entertaining the why, spending time on the why, it's not a waste of your time. It's fun. And when AI is the creative director behind things, even when you're prompting things, all of the micro decisions that would have been made on the execution front, when those disappear...
Sorry, I'll let you finish your thought, and then I'll get to this.
When those disappear, there's no fucking worth to the thing anymore. Also, Ravi is saying, Surus, what am I Surusing? Also, Ninjas, thank you for subscribing. What am I Surusing, Ravi? What's going on?
I don't know, but this person says, buy super chats to avoid ads. Sounds like YouTube just wants money. Yes, they do. And that is also why I said that I don't necessarily believe them, because I could absolutely see them saying that to get streamers to say things like what I just said, where the more super chats you send, the fewer ads you see. And then they just play the ads anyway so they can double dip. Which, I mean, to be fair, that would also be me double dipping. Because I get a cut of the ad money, but Anyway, should we get to the news?
Yeah, I think we probably should get to the news.
I have
That
someone,
sounds like a good
someone in
idea.
my chat that's like asking questions about the title of the stream, and we haven't even touched on that. So I should probably get to that. Okay.
Yeah, probably. You
So,
right.
have you seen the title of the stream?
I have not.
Oh.
No. This is a surprise to me.
Okay. God damn it. There we go. Parents outraged after students got message to earn community service hours after at ICE detention facility. I added the word community there because in the Canadian high school system it's community service. But yeah, there was a high school guidance counselor that sent messages out to the grade 11 students that was like, "Hey, you want to get your hours in for graduation? You can come on down to the ICE facility and volunteer there."
I think everybody involved with that decision should be just. They should either lose their jobs or they should conveniently disappear. I'm sorry. I don't need another iteration of the fucking Hitler Youth program. But that's what that is. That is functionally what that is.
I don't know that it's even the Hitler Youth program because what they were going to have the kids do is like make sandwiches and like essentially be the lunch ladies for the inmates. But also the facility that they were going to be doing this at is one of the worst ones as far as the treatment of the inmates. The prisoners. What I don't know. What do you call them? They're not criminals. They're just people.
Detainees. I
Detainees.
guess.
Yeah, but like it's one of the ones that's like it's got the highest death rate. It's one of the ones where they don't provide adequate medical care. There's a bunch of crime happening inside because that's what happens when you do stuff like that. Yeah, kidnap victims. That's a good one. But yeah, so the guidance counselor invited them through Google Classroom. Now, the school district has said that it was a mistake. I would say that it's not a given.
It's not a mistake if you decided to do it. It's only a mistake because you got caught doing it.
So Olivia Williams says, this reminds me there's a report that ICE are moving underage pregnant girls to Texas so they don't have to provide abortion. That is slimy.
That is, yeah, no. And every ICE agent involved in that decision making should not conveniently disappear. I just think they should be dead.
Yeah. So anyway, this was they were going to be working at the Delaney Hall Detention Center in Newark, where politicians and families of detainees have complained about harsh conditions.
Mm-hmm.
They said the volunteer opportunity was to make sandwiches and food for the detainees at the site. This was Pastor Jennifer de Los Angeles said, you want to bring minors into a detention center where people die, people are raped, people are abused, the conditions are unsanitary. I mean, I'd argue that the detainees that are there without having committed any crimes also
shouldn't be there.
Yeah. That's my hot
take.
take.
So you admit that all of that stuff happens there, and you're still okay having that detention center?
Well, no, this is a person that was against. Well, at least she's against making the kids go. But yeah, no, it was like this was a post by a guidance counselor on Google Classroom. At no point, and let's see. I think we got some of the wording from the post in here somewhere. I thought we did. I don't know. I'm not seeing it, but like several conscious decisions were made in posting this. Now, the school district has said, no, this is absolutely not approved. This message should never have been sent. I have not heard about this guidance counselor being fired. I feel like they should be.
Yeah.
At a minimum. But yeah, no, that's not. It was a mistake. That is a breach of trust.
Yeah, that is the school district that you have entrusted your children to be at, the group of our most vulnerable that we should be defending at all costs. You said that their safety, their mentality, all of that is not important to you because you want to send them to a detention facility where people just are not treated well and fucking die. You wanted to send them there for a reason. You want, and the reason's simple. The reason's very, very simple. It's to normalize it. Like that's functionally what it is.
I'm just picturing the kid from Starship Troopers going, I'm doing my part.
Yeah, that's
Like that's what
That's
this
basically
is.
what it is.
That's what
It
this
is an
is.
attempt to normalize this
Piper, put
shit
that
to
kid in the
people.
thumbnail.
I'm doing my part.
Yeah.
What if you didn't?
Yeah, no, I'd rather the kids were not brought into the detention facilities.
Same.
Fennec has never seen Starship Troopers.
You should.
It is a good movie, but you have to watch it through the lens of it being a satire of fascism. Because too many people have watched it through the lens of, oh, fascism is good, actually.
I don't see how you can get that out of that movie, though.
If you ignore the fact that they didn't really win in the end, and that their win condition was this big bug is scared, then I can see how you got it out of it. But yeah, no.
It just
I don't know.
it's not a movie that like celebrates the triumph of the human spirit so much as it is a movie that shows you that it is attempting to show a world where somebody wants to communicate a triumph of the human spirit to you. But in so doing, they're giving you propaganda. Like, that's what the fucking propaganda bits in that film are for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's showing you that these are not the people you want to root for. Let's see. Starship Troopers 3, Marauder. So this is the one... so this is where I... I'm confused about the Starship Troopers verse.
Okay.
Because the first Starship Troopers was written by Edward Neumeier and Robert Heinlein. Well, I mean, Robert Heinlein got a credit on it because it was based on his book, but I think he was dead before the movie came out. I'm not sure.
I think he'd be rolling in his grave if he watched it.
Yeah.
Because the book was not a satire.
No. Yeah, he died in '88, so he got a writing credit on it because it was based on his book, but he would not have liked it. But if you watch Starship Troopers 3, it's Christian propaganda, and not like it's not done in the same way as Starship Troopers is fascist propaganda or a parody. Like, it's not a parody; it just looks like Christian propaganda. Like, the message at the end is like the person who prayed was actually saved by a bunch of angels coming down. Like, it's very on the nose, but not on the nose parody-ish.
It's not self-aware anymore.
Yeah. But it's like it was shocking to me when after I watched it, I looked it up and realized it was written by the same guy. I'm like, how did that happen?
Yeah, I'm equally confused. What?
But also the person who played T'Pol on Star Trek Enterprise was the character who converted to Christianity at the end.
Karen Ambassador says the problem with parody is that there will always be people who look at it and say, yes, this is what I believe. Right, it's Poe's law.
It's
like, just Poe's law.
Well, it's like the Kick a Ginger Day. Like that was largely inspired by the South Park episode where what's his face? The fat kid, Cartman?
Cartman.
Cartman was being very anti-ginger, and then his friends, one of whom was a ginger, snuck into his room at night, dyed his hair red, gave him fake freckles and whatnot, and when he woke up, he realized he was a ginger. Suddenly he became very anti-non-ginger, and started like a Hitler Youth for gingers to exterminate the non-gingers. And then at the like Cartman was clearly the butt of the joke there. But the message that a lot of people took from that episode was, it's fun to make fun of gingers.
Yeah, that's where you get the gingers don't have souls.
Well, that was kicking around a long time before South Park, but that was the inspiration for the Kick a Ginger Day, which actually did result in a lot of ginger kids being bullied.
South Park accidentally creating problems because people don't watch South Park and realize that the two people who make it are just making fun of everything, not actually showing this is my ideology actually, and this is good. Say it ain't so.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never liked South Park. It's just not my style of humor.
Yeah, that's understandable. I like South Park a lot,
I
but I
did
can also understand not liking it because it is a show that can come off as more mean-spirited than like actually having something legitimate to say.
It's not even that for me. It's just it feels like the point is to take the joke too far.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is always the point, every single joke, and it's like, okay, yeah, no, that was entirely predictable because you always take the joke too far. So this is where that joke should go. So you're going to go over here. And it's just like, it stopped being entertaining because you can, like, it just telegraphs where it's going so far ahead of the time or ahead of when it
Mm-hmm.
does it. And yeah, it just, like, the shock value loses its value when it's every joke. It's just like, yeah, no, I'm not surprised by that anymore.
Nope, that's understandable.
I did, however, we tried to give new South Park a go when
Mm-hmm.
everybody was talking about them making fun of Trump and whatnot. Um, I did enjoy the Cartman and Butters trying to kill themselves subplot.
In the EV,
Yeah,
they're gonna get the methane for it. Trust me.
yeah, that was amusing. But yeah, everything else about that was just like, I think we talked about it before.
We did.
But,
Yeah, for me, and maybe it's just because I grew up with South Park, so like my humor and South Park's humor often jive with one another very, very well. But I know that it's not that way for a lot of people.
just a second.
Absolutely. Sean Helfin says there are days when I don't like South Park and there are days when I do. Again, understandable. Understandable.
Okay, where was I? Ah, I was gonna fill up my water. Should probably leave my microphone muted for that because I know you guys all loved the sound of that last week.
Mm, I was watching a buddy of mine stream who recently like started streaming, so they're learning everything right now. And they took a snack break on stream. And when they took a snack break, they didn't fucking stop their microphone. So I just heard for 5 minutes. I'm just like, nope, 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 stop.
That is absolutely the worst. 100%.
Like, that is awful. That is an abomination against humanity and all of our achievements. Stop.
One of my kids is a lip smacker, and unfortunately, he can also be a bit of a little shit. So if ever you ask him to chew with his mouth closed, he will smack it all the louder. There have been times when he has had his food taken away because he's like, nope, we're not doing that.
Yeah. Man, controversial thing. There are certain things that are not normalized to do to people or children at all. But there are certain things they can do to deserve those things again.
Yeah, no, we always give the food back. It's like I would never make one of my kids go hungry, but like, no, if you are going to disrespectfully smack your lips louder when I ask you to chew with your mouth closed, you lose your food.
Yep.
When you're ready to close your mouth when you chew, you can have it back. But yeah, that's the joy of a blended family where all of us are neurodiverse of some kind or another. Is that like there's at least three of us who are sensory avoidant, and
Mm-hmm.
at least three of us who are sensory seeking. So the sensory seeking ones are always just getting on the nerves of the sensory avoidant ones. So it's like, it's not
Mm-hmm.
just that he's smacking his lips really loud. He's also clapping his hands, banging the table, and stomping his feet. And it's just like, oh, can you just sit there and eat?
He's like, I appreciate that you want to keep doing this. Appreciate that if you keep doing this, the table will flip.
Well, that's the thing though, is so the lip smacking, that's a you need to exist in polite society. Nobody, when you're out in the world, wants to see what's in your mouth while you're eating. So
Hmm.
like that's a thing or whatever. But like him smacking the table and stuff, like he's a kid, and he's a sensory seeking kid because of some neurodivergence or whatever. So like him doing that is the same as me wanting to put on my noise canceling headphones and not hear any of it. So like
Hmm.
if I'm going to allow myself to make accommodations for my own sensory issues, why can we not also have accommodations for his sensory issues, which just because
I
they're opposite of
no
mine.
no.
I
I have to have a hard disagree on that. Um,
Well,
so I
okay, hear me out
when
though.
no
So
hold on, because like if if one person's sensory issues are you hold on, you know the phrase, the very stupidly common phrase, your right to swing your fist ends at my nose.
mhm.
That's what this is to me, is that if one person can make accommodations in order to
Okay,
function,
but Cersei,
and there is a functional difference
but
between these
do
two
do you
things.
know what accommodations we have made?
Offhand, I do not, because I'm not
No,
at your
you
house.
don't. So like he loves to stomp his feet. So we
Hmm.
got a workout tension elastic thing that's really tight. Put it around the legs of his chairs. He can put his feet on there and bounce to his heart's content, and it doesn't make any noise.
Okay, that's fair.
So like it gets his movements out or whatever. And like yeah, no, we don't let him like smack the table as hard as he wants to, but like if he's just sitting there having a good time in a way that would be like reasonable,
Hmm.
then it's like here's the other thing though, is that one of the
That.
sensory avoidant kids was diagnosed as borderline OCD about 2 years ago. We're
Hmm.
pretty sure that it has progressed to actual OCD at this point. So there are times when their requests are like, because I am in this room, you cannot also be in this room. Go somewhere else. I need you to be somewhere else because of my things or whatever. Like, no, 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 people are allowed to exist.
Hmm.
So it's a balancing act, and it's not an easy one.
No, that is fair. My thing was the initial knee jerk reaction where somebody who's neurodivergent goes, "Well, you just have to deal with me doing a thing." No, no, the fuck I don't. Absolutely not. I don't. And
And
I don't know what neurodivergency I have, but
Jim,
whatever it is, it makes me confrontational enough to get in your face about it.
yeah. Jim Anion says, "Last time I checked, you don't need to eat at the same table." That is true, but at the same
But when
time,
you're family, that's kind of a bonding thing.
yeah, I mean, we are a big chaotic family where sometimes it is beneficial to have meals separate from each other, and we do that at least a couple times a
Hmm.
week. But the issue with the small children, though, is that it is my job as the parent to guide them through their lives to becoming, you know, I don't want to say productive member of society because that's very capitalist pilled.
But functional, like functional and
Functional,
happy.
yeah, and part of that is like teaching them how to exist in a way that is not going to have everybody around them hating their guts. And I know not everybody is going to hate their guts for chewing with their mouth open, but it's part of the bigger picture.
Yeah, it is. It is one of those lessons to learn so that you can exist with other people without having issues. Now, I recognize I jumped the gun on the accommodations thing because
Yeah, there's a
there is
difference
an
between accommodation and just letting them go wild.
yeah, because like I again having to exist in nerd spaces where there's a lot of neurodivergency, my knee jerk thing is seeing somebody going, "Well, you just have to deal with me doing this." No, the fuck I don't. Absolutely, no, the fuck I don't. In no world do I have to, and I will if I have to deal with this, then you have to deal with my obstinance, and that's inconvenient for everybody here.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, oh, I don't know if I mentioned this, but this news item was sent to me by Progress Only.
Woo!
I'm so good at remembering to give credit.
You are. You're fantastic.
The next one, though, I was surprised that nobody sent this to me Pete
Oh, what's
Hegseth's
this one?
pastor says he wants James Tallarico to die.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, this is another one of those things where if we take them at their word and say that they believe in God and believe that God has the power to answer prayers, then this is attempted murder and he should be locked up. Because
Yeah, that's
he
one
is
of those things.
he is praying to God to kill James Tallarico, and he believes that God exists and answers prayers. That's attempted murder, or at the very least, conspiracy to commit murder.
If you truly believe these things have weight, then why do you not operate as if they do have weight? And if you choose to operate as if they don't have weight, then that's like saying, "Oh, well, I could just fire my gun into a crowd." Like, no, you believe that your prayer has weight, you believe that it has power, so why would you mismanage that power?
Ah,
Why
but
would
I
you do
prayed
that?
to God to keep everybody safe from the gun that I was firing into the crowd. Checkmate, Cirrus.
Uh-huh. I feel like a smart god would have convinced you not to fire the gun to the crowd in the first fucking place.
Yeah. So
I
after
pray that God will make it so that this nuclear bomb that I'm about to throw will damage nothing of importance and hurt no civilians.
that's how they bombed the children's school. Children's school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, after referring to the Texas Democrat as a wolf, a demon, and a snake, the two talked about what they. This was on a podcast. They talked about what they hope becomes of Tallarico. Now, in their defense, I'm pretty sure this is just like one of those. Like, they phrased it in a way that makes it very easy to defend from a position of like, the Christian language of like, I am dying to self in order to take up my cross and follow Christ. So they're not actually praying for his literal death, just his, becoming a true Christian
The
and
plausible
seeing the error of his
deniability
way.
angle.
Yeah. But like the language they use is like it's very much like I want him to die first and foremost, but then I'm adding this other thing onto the end for plausible deniability. So like this is where you have imprecatory psalms. This is where you pray strongly. The psalmist is not shy. God, destroy them. Make them as dung on the ground. I pray that God kills him, Hames continues. Ultimately, that means killing his heart and raising him up to new life in Christ.
No, no. If you pray that God, you stop pretending, not you, but them, stop pretending that your words don't have the weight that they mean. When I was a Christian, one of the things that I was told in my private school was to never use the word hate because the word hate has very specific implications. It has a very specific weight, and if you don't honor the weight that that word has, then you are just in for a world of hurt. So, I'm just gonna take that exact same thing here. If you say God killed this thing, just assume that it's a fucking monkey's paw. Just assume that. Just assume that the death is just gonna happen and it's gonna be blood on your hands. And that would be bad and inconvenient for you, and operate as if that's the case.
Oh, I didn't see this. About 36 minutes ago, Katini asked if I was saying that they should get a different VPN as they got Surfshark via me 2 years ago. No, I'm not saying to get a different VPN. I'm saying that my relationship with Surfshark can continue because they're not making me advertise AI stuff. But you'd be hard pressed to find any company, VPN or otherwise, that's not trying to use AI for something. I just don't want to
Yeah.
advertise that feature. So I still use it.
Like, I can't stop you from doing this stupid thing, but I would like to not be told that I have to sing its praises.
Yes. Okay, back to the news.
Yay!
So here he says that so Tallarico is the kind of guy you pray imprecatory psalms against, and then he says, and I mean that actually. So like to me that says that he doesn't mean it from the metaphorical death to be renewed in Christ sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He means he just actually wants him to die. That's what I take away from that. But we could listen to him say it. We got the podcast right here.
Well,
Fantastic.
this is the kind of guy you pray imprecatory psalms against. And I mean that actually. And first and foremost, we pray that a man like this would be cut to the heart. And me and my wife and I were talking about this in the car the other day, about imprecatory psalms, about God's enemies, and how whenever we are dealing in the category of enemies, right? We have private enemies whom you are to forgive. All right. There is actual a Greek word for private enemies, right? So these are the ones that you turn the
I'm sorry, I can't make it go faster, apparently.
other cheek. This is where you forgive. This is where you extend forgiveness after forgiveness after forgiveness. But then there's a whole other word for public enemies, okay? And public enemies, these are the orcs at the gate. You are not called to love the barbarian horde that is planning to break into your city and, you know, pillage, plunder, rape, and mutilate.
I see.
you and your
You're
people.
not called
So-
to love the immigrants.
Well, I mean, in this case, he's talking about James Tallarico. James Tallarico, that very mild-mannered, meek man who actually does seem to stand for what most people think of when they think of Christian values. He's the barbarian horde.
Yep.
You don't love that horde. That is your enemy, and you pray. This is where you have imprecatory psalms. This is where you pray strongly. The psalmist is not shy. God, destroy them. Make them as dung on the ground, right? So, but Madison and I were talking about that, and so I say, even in the debate, I think you might have seen it, but that I had on campus the other day, I pray that God kills him. Ultimately, that means killing his heart and raising him up to new life in Christ. That's the
That big
Use a
long
different
pause.
word, dumbass.
That big long pause after kills him. Ultimately, that means metaphorically. Like,
Then use a different word, asshole. That's sorry. Like when I say that I think a person needs to cease existing, then I mean those words. I think that if you are the kind of person who will extinguish the lives of others, then I don't think that you need to be a person who is still around to extinguish more lives, if that's what you continue to plan on fucking doing. Say it with your chest instead of doing this cowardly, like, oh, I just hope my God changes his mind. If that's what you really mean, if that's what you truly mean, then use those words. They exist. You have access to them.
yeah.
Like, it's just fucking cowardly.
It is.
It's just cowardly.
It's like either say what you mean or don't. But stop doing this double speak that gives you plausible deniability for the positions you actually hold. But, okay. Anyway, next up we've got some good news.
Oh boy, I love good news.
Sent to me by E.T. Benson. Donald Trump is going to be represented in Congress by a Democrat now.
Oh?
Is the House seat in the district that includes Mar-a-Lago was flipped from Republican to Democrat.
Ha. Eat shit.
Yep. So Emily Gregory won a special election in the Florida House seat on Tuesday. She flipped the district that is home to President Trump's Mar-a-Lago. Trump endorsed her Republican rival, of course, saying that he was endorsed by so many of my Palm Beach County friends. And I love this little paragraph. Mr. Trump voted by mail in this election, according to public records, a method of voting he has frequently railed against, referring to it as mail-in cheating as recently as Monday.
Gotta say, that's the thing that he says that you shouldn't do, but he himself does it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. It's almost like there's a line from the Dresden Files that I think holds a lot of weight here. And it was, how did you know that this person was lying?
Oh,
Their
apparently,
lips were moving.
apparently this is a state house, not national.
It's still funny.
Yeah. But yeah, so Republican Mike Caruso, who resigned from the seat to become Palm Beach County's clerk, won the district by 19 points in 2024, and Gregory won the election by 2.4 points. So that's a hell of a swing.
Yeah? Jesus.
And apparently this is the 29th district that Democrats have flipped from Republican control since Trump took office.
It keeps happening. Weird. It's
Yeah.
almost like people are tired of Republican control of a bunch of areas.
I
don't know why they possibly could be tired of that, though.
So this is where I get so frustrated by this. It's like,
Yeah?
because on the one hand, yes, good that they're flipping away from the Republicans. But we fucking knew he was going to do this. We told you that he was going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
He told you he was going to do this.
Dictator on day one.
Yes.
Yep.
Like none of this should have been a surprise, but somehow all these people are like, "Oh my God, this isn't what I voted for." Like, yes, it fucking is. What else?
Yeah.
What else did you think he was going to do?
No,
Thank you for the
I get the
sacrifice.
frustration.
But it's like I'm not going to get upset that Republicans are losing elections, but like,
It's the fact that we had to be in this position in the first place.
well, it's kind of what we talked about last week, where it's like, yeah, have like, did any of the Epstein files come out before he was elected? No, they didn't. But we knew he was in them. But yeah, so like, we knew he was going to be in the Epstein files. He was already adjudicated to have been a rapist. So he like, it's a matter of court record that he raped a lady. He was a convicted felon.
Yeah, we already lived in the world
and
where
these people
Donald
voted
Trump...
for him, thinking that he was not just going to enrich himself and do whatever the fuck. Like, do you remember?
How?
Do you remember back in November of 2024, when both Trump and Stephen Miller were warning that if you voted for Kamala, within a year we'll be at war with Iran?
Hey, to be fair,
Like, it wasn't even we'll be at war. It was we will be at war with Iran.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Again, in their defense, it didn't happen year one.
just 1.01.
Yeah. See, that makes it better.
Yeah, sure. It's just like, everybody knew. How could you not fucking know? I don't know. It's frustrating that like the American voter is just so fickle and seemingly
I think
stupid.
It's also that they forget. Like, we know what the first Trump presidency was like. We know why it was like.
And then there was 4 years that, like, yeah, Biden didn't do anything terribly exciting, but it was like calm. There wasn't a crazy like.
It was
there wasn't a
as usual
scandal
for a
every.
while.
Well, not really as usual. Trump kind of ruined that in his first term, but like. There wasn't any real scandals. Like, yeah, every day was a scandal because, like, Biden looked in this direction and there didn't appear to be anybody in that direction, so he must be hallucinating or whatever the fuck. So, like, the media was really nasty to Biden, but, like, ultimately it was 4 years of political boredom.
Yeah, which is what politics should be, honestly.
Like, honestly,
it should be boring.
I don't want to know or care who the fucking secretaries of all these various things are. Do you know who the Secretary of Defense was under Biden? Because I don't fucking know.
No.
Do you know who was in charge of Homeland Security under Biden? Because I don't fucking know. And that's the way I want it to be. Not that I want to be ignorant of these things or whatever, but like, I want it to be that if I don't want to know who these people are, I don't have to know.
Yeah, but that's not the reality you get to live in.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
I mean, at least they're all wearing like oversized shoes. Actually, so I heard more detail on that story. So I was a little bit wrong. It's not that Trump was guessing their shoe sizes and getting them the wrong sizes. Mm-hmm. It's that he asked a bunch of them while they were in the room together, and they all believe that stupid thing where bigger feet means bigger penis. So they were all reporting their shoe sizes as bigger than they actually are. It's like, yeah, no, I have a big dick because I am size 13.
You know what they say about men with big feet?
How about big shoes but small feet? It's Sideshow Bob. No, Sideshow Bob was the one that actually had the big feet. I forget what... I forget. It's been a long time since this episode.
Tal says, I'm tired of living in unprecedented times.
Yeah. I can say from experience that big feet does not equal a big pee-pee. Well, I can also say that, like, making fun of Trump for having a small dick is not necessarily great, because from what I have heard from some of the ladies that I know, the smaller the dick, the better the foreplay game. And I very much doubt that Trump has a good foreplay game.
I mean, he probably thinks it has something to do with golf.
Yeah, probably.
Also, you could not convince me that Trump is not a shellfish lover.
No.
Selfish
never,
lover,
never.
not shellfish lover.
Either one. Hey, his vice president fucks couches, so what, if he fucks a clam, is that any weirder? Yes, it is. It's much weirder.
It's definitely
that's-
higher on the rung.
It's canon now. Trump loves them nautiloids. No, they're not shellfish, are they? Are they technically shellfish?
I don't know.
I just didn't want to go back to clam, because clam is actually a euphemism for the vagina.
Guys, can we go back to the clam?
Trump's narcissism wouldn't let him be good at foreplay. Yeah, no, 100%. He is like, yeah, no, I can't see him being anything but a selfish lover. He doesn't care about anybody else. He barely knows his children's names. Thanks for that mental image, Rhino. I hate it. Just wait until Stoff gets a hold of this.
Stoff already said they're not going to do anything with it.
Okay. That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also just
We found Stoff's
sure-
line. I didn't know that existed.
it's also that there usually sure is a whole lot of wanting Stoff to do things for no money.
You mean I can't just keep commissioning them on every stream?
No. We didn't find Stoff's line. We found mine.
Piper says, I'm not saying Donald Trump is sexually attracted to clams. I'm just saying we don't know and we should ask. Oh, that brings back memories.
It does.
If you don't know what that's about, you should go to TommyMcMurtry.com.
I actually did a video recently talking about the Pumpkin Saga.
I saw that. I think I commented on that video.
Because it was about the AI-generated NIFB fan music.
Yes.
That apparently exists.
Yes. I remember seeing that. And I watched it and I was like, oh yeah, the pumpkin site. And so I went to TommyMcMurtry.com to see if it was still up. And it is. And it is still the first thing that comes up if you Google him. So, yeah, that's fun. Anyway.
That was a successful campaign.
Out of the good news, back into the bad news. Trump is bribing a French company that was going to be doing a bunch of windmills off in the ocean. He's bribing them to not, because now that, fossil fuels are super duper expensive because of his stupid war in Iran, that's a great time to pivot away from green energy. Never mind that if you guys had, gone whole hog into green energy like 20 years ago, then the current situation would not matter. At least not in the States. Like, it would still matter globally, but...
Saki and I were actually talking about that in the car a couple days ago, where she said, with everything going on right now, you picked the best time to have an EV.
Yeah. Great time.
I have a level 2 charger now, finally.
Nice. Oh, yeah, level 1 with a full electric EV. That must have been painful.
It actually wasn't that painful. I only ever had to go to like a big charging station, I think 2 or 3 times total. But every time that I did have to go, because I was doing like to and from Atlanta for some reason, I felt it.
Yeah.
So, wasn't too bad.
Well, I keep forgetting that you don't have 5 kids that have a million appointments all over a fairly large peninsula.
Right, yeah, I can choose to stay in my house and hermitize a little bit sometimes.
Because that was when we first moved in here. There was a period of time when the contractors were working. When we got the kitchen redone, they were using the garage as like the place where their table saw was set up, and the cord from the level 2 charger couldn't reach from the back of the garage out to the front, so we basically charging the car off of an extension cord plugged into just a normal outlet, and it was painful. but we also do have 5 kids that have appointments all over the place. So yeah, there's a Canadian Tire just down the road from us that has a level as a DC fast charger. So we were able to go there and top it up when we needed to. But yeah, it's much cheaper to charge it at home.
That is one of the other problems that I ran into, is that where I live specifically, there are no chargers.
Well, you live in Georgia. You think
So-
Georgia's going to go all in on electric cars?
There's plenty of places that have chargers in Georgia, just this is not one of them. You have to go to population centers.
Does Buc-ee's
I
have a
live in the
charger?
boonies. Does Buc-ee's have a charger?
They'd be stupid not to have chargers, but I didn't see any while we were there.
I believe that the one here actually does have a charger,
There we go.
but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, Sean Helfand says I have a hybrid, but it's also still cheaper. Yeah, I have. We have 2 vehicles. There's an all-electric car that we do most of our driving with, but we also have a van because there's 7 people in our family, and we can't fit 7 people in a car. So we have a van. The van is a hybrid, and that is nice. However, we are trying our best not to drive it right now, thanks to, the war in Iran. Gas right now is about $1.75 a liter, which I think translates to about $5.50 a gallon.
Jesus.
Yeah. So it's not cheap.
No, it's not.
So I actually, I filled up 4 jerry cans just after the war started, and the gas had only just gone up by like 10 cents a liter. So it was at like 140. And yeah, the 4 gas cans are going to be enough to completely fill the van up at least once, like once and a bit. So hopefully that can hopefully this war is not a forever war, and the prices will come back down at some point.
That's always the hope.
But yeah, no, Trump chose this time to be like, hey, company that was all set up to build a whole bunch of windmills and make us less dependent on fossil fuels at a time when the price of fossil fuels is killing my constituents. We don't need your windmills.
Yeah, let's fuck off. We could use a lot of shit right now.
Yeah, so they're going to invest the money. They're going to invest the money that he's paying them $1 billion, which is essentially a refund of what they've already paid. And they are going to the stipulation on that is they now have to invest in fossil fuel projects. So yeah, great time to ramp up. Fossil fuel bullshit.
Why should you have to incentivize buying yesterday's tech?
Well, the Interior Department hailed the innovative agreement with the French energy giant and said the American people will no longer pay for ideological subsidies that benefited only the unreliable and costly offshore wind industry.
The costly... I have never heard it called the wind industry. What the fuck is the wind industry?
The wind industry.
Who the fuck calls it the wind industry?
Yeah, windustry was right there.
Just...
But,
that sounds so... I did it so that I wouldn't be subservient to big...
But how many...
wind.
But the fucking oil companies are massively subsidized. And on top of the money that they actually receive directly from the government, they also are, in my opinion, now this is a debatable point, but in my opinion, they are subsidized in that they don't have to pay for the downstream consequences of burning the fossil fuels. So all the health effects from the pollution, they don't need to pay for that. That's a subsidy.
You've heard the theory that the smartest people alive in the world have already come and gone, and we will never have people as smart as those again because of the lead in our atmosphere that we ourselves fucking put there.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Is the lead still in the atmosphere?
There is still an amount of it. It doesn't just go away because we stopped using it.
I mean, it goes away eventually.
Eventually.
Into the water table.
I don't believe we're
That's
to the
a much
point where
better
it's gone
place
away
for it.
enough.
Yeah, but it's just I forget the study, but there was a study done a couple of years ago that determined that if we were to actually make all the fossil fuel companies pay for all the downstream consequences, the externalized costs of just for healthcare related stuff, then going green would 100% pay for itself Like, it is just the amount of healthcare savings that you would have just from reduced pollution, from not burning any more fossil fuels, would more than pay for itself in like whatever it costs to switch over. Like, I forget what the exact numbers are. It's been a long time since I read the study. But like, for all the people that say, "Oh, it's too expensive, too expensive," yeah, but it makes a bunch of other stuff cheaper for you, and also it's not more expensive. Like, solar and wind power has come down in price significantly to a point where the only fossil fuel that's cheaper than them right now is natural gas, and the only reason natural gas is cheaper is because of all the subsidies it gets.
Unfortunately, I think humankind in general is not forward thinking enough to view it that way.
Yeah.
I think we look at current consequences and current things more than we look at what's going to happen downstream, very much to our detriment.
Macrocat4749 says we have microplastics, though. Yeah, just because I come plastic now doesn't mean that we're going to have health effects in babies, right?
On the microplastics thing, though, I believe we've actually not... Granted, this doesn't mean anything because we did the same thing with tobacco, but I believe we haven't actually found anything definitive in terms of the negative effects of microplastics on human health. I was watching a video about that a while ago, and...
Yeah, but they still found them in brains. And
yes.
I feel like having little bits of plastic poking around up there is not going to be good for you.
Right. It's... Again, I agree. I do not think it is a good thing, but in terms of actual tangible negative effects, we haven't really got anything major yet. Again, this is as a couple of years ago when I was looking into this. That information may have changed, and like with things like the tobacco industry, there's always the chance that the information itself, those studies, are skewed because of industries wanting to pay for them. Yeah. That's what happened with tobacco. Mm-hmm. That's what happened with sugar.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's enough of this bullshit.
Yay!
Oh, yeah, that was sent to me by my anonymous source.
Gotcha. So what do we have next?
We have... This one was sent to me by E.T. Benson. The FBI fired agents who worked on Trump's classified document investigation.
Oh, boy.
And, of course, there's lawsuits coming. My dog is doing something out there. Huddles. What you doing? Hi. Well, you just got the zoomies. Is that it? Is that it? You just got the zoomies? Oh. Okay, she's just got the zoomies.
Gotcha.
It sounded like, oh, hi. Oh, bye. It sounded like something else was going on out there, but like, she's just everywhere. But yeah, so the FBI has fired additional agents who worked on an investigation of President Trump, this time terminating employees who participated in the probe and the Republicans' hoarding of classified documents. Yeah, because when I mentioned all the scandals and bullshit that was happening with Trump earlier in the stream, I forgot about this. There's so many scandals that you forget about the most important ones.
You may even get tired of winning.
God damn. Yeah, so over the last year, Kash Patel has pushed out dozens of employees who either contributed to investigations of the president or who were perceived as not in alignment with the administration's agenda. And the Justice Department has engaged in a similarly sweeping firing of prosecutors since Trump took office last year. So if you'll recall last week when we were talking about how like they're desperate for lawyers now, so they're reducing the qualifications needed to work for them.
Yeah.
It's because they're firing everyone that doesn't agree with the administration. And as it turns out, smart people like lawyers.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Yes?
My partner's calling. I can put her on the air. Hello, you are live on my YouTube channel.
Oh, I forgot it's Wednesday.
I'll see you soon.
I love you, bye.
Love you too, bye. There we go.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I have a little thing where it connects my phone to that so I can like listen to podcasts on the computer from my phone without having to like worry about progress or whatever. It just makes it easier. And yeah, it does phone calls as well. I guess that's what it's meant for, but I never use it for that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway, back to the news item. These actions were, so this was a statement by the FBI Agents Association. They say these actions weaken the Bureau by stripping away critical expertise and destabilizing the workforce, undermining trust in leadership, and jeopardizing the Bureau's abilities to meet its recruitment goals.
That sounds like everything the Trump administration has done forever.
Yeah, so I'm like, yes, it does do that. But like, did it not also undermine your trust of the leadership when you saw him take a private jet to watch the Olympics and then party in the locker room with the hockey team and claim it as a business expense?
Yeah, like this is not unique for the Trump administration.
Like they say that as though anyone should have any trust in leadership at this point.
Yeah, no,
it's like fucking John Roberts who's being like, oh, it's so bad that people don't trust the Supreme Court anymore. Like, yeah, I wonder why that is, motherfucker.
I wonder if there's any particular things that happened that have caused that particular phenomenon recently that we could name. Nah, who knows?
It's a mystery. It's a rumor, a legend, a mystery. Sorry, that's not a related song, but it made me think of it. And you didn't recognize it.
Nope, I did not.
Okay. It was from the animated Anastasia movie that everybody thinks was Disney, but wasn't Disney. It was actually a bunch of animators who left Disney around that time.
Yeah, no, didn't recognize it.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie that is made. It's kind of sad to watch because like it's about the legend of Anastasia or whatever. So you know that legend.
Not offhand, no.
So when the Bolsheviks took over in Russia, they took Tsar Nicholas and his family and killed them all. But there was a rumor that so he had 5 daughters, and only 4 of them were accounted for. And there was a rumor that Anastasia had escaped somehow. And so for years, it was a big mystery of like, what happened to Anastasia? They did pretty bad on Rasputin. Yes, they did. They didn't talk about his huge dick at all. Don Bluth. Not Don. Yeah, Don Bluth is in charge of the company, but he didn't like, he takes credit for other people's work all the time. I don't like Don Bluth. I just like the work that his companies do. But yeah, they turned Rasputin into a D&D lich. Yeah, basically. So yeah, it's one of the stories of what could have happened to Anastasia as she searches for her grandmother who survived the revolution and fled to Paris. But it's kind of sad watching it now because like, oh well, they've done genetic analysis of the burned, like they cremated the children, and they've done a genetic analysis of the ashes now, and they found 5 distinct sets of DNA. So it's like, yeah, no, she just died with her sisters. But no, maybe she lived. Maybe she got hit in the head and forgot everything and ended up in an orphanage, just like the movie said. But it's a fun movie still. Anyway, that's it for news. Let's go to tweets.
Oh, wow. I can't wait to be even
tweet.
more or less depressed.
Tweet. Well, it's going to be a mixture this time.
Okay.
We're starting with Against Atheism says, name a single argument for atheism. Divine hiddenness.
Divine hiddenness.
Sorry, the argument from divine hiddenness, technically.
The argument from the problem of evil is technically not an argument for atheism. It's just a defeater for an all-good God. So that's not really a thing for atheism.
I mean, you can do that with any argument for atheism. But the problem is that all of the gods that people believe in now, well, for the most part, like of the major religions, the gods are supposed to be personal interventionist and mostly benevolent. benevolent-ish.
Depends on the one, because like you sometimes get like Odin,
Well,
who
I
might
was
introduce.
I was thinking of Hinduism, which is I think their third largest religion right now. And they have a whole pantheon of gods, some of whom are good, some of whom aren't. So they don't really have a problem of evil. It's like, why does God not stop all the evil? Well, because there's not one God. There's a bunch of them, and the good gods can't stop all the bad gods all the time.
And like even when you have good gods in certain other religions, the reason that you have bad things happen is because that god is either trying to shape you, or it's some other god who's angry that you're following that god, and therefore you overcoming that thing is both a spite towards the god you don't like and something that's good for the god you do like. Like there's a lot of stuff there. But my main thing with this would be that if we are to take atheism to just be like the negative position on God, then I don't have to name an argument for atheism. I don't. Because I don't
There's
have to
no
give you a
obvious
reason why
evidence
I
for a
don't
God?
believe in something.
Yeah, there's no obvious evidence for God. Yet that's not an argument.
Yeah,
This is very Cameron Bertuzzi pilled.
Yeah, I can recognize that most of the arguments for atheism are not arguments for atheism, they're just defeaters for certain types of gods. But I don't, like I said, I would also just say that if we're to take atheism as just the negative position on belief on God, I don't have to substantiate that. I never have to, because it's not a claim.
Well, it's more about whether or not you care about convincing the other person. Because too many people, like atheists and religious people, get the whole burden of proof thing. And it's like, oh, well, the burden of proof works the way that it does in formal debates. It's like, not out here in the real world, it doesn't. The person who has the burden of proof out here in the real world is the person who actually cares about convincing the other person. So like,
Right.
I don't care if you stay a Christian, but when you say that there's a God out there, I don't believe you. So I don't have the burden of proof because I don't care whether or not you convert to
and
atheism.
generally speaking, like, even for my channel, I don't care that somebody believes in God. I care two things. One, that you've at least thought through your belief a little bit, because that's indicative of how you operate with all of your beliefs. If you didn't put a whole lot of thought into, the big question, then I assume that you didn't put a lot of thought into any of the other little questions in your life. And that stacks up to a person who's just like impulsive and stupid. The other thing is I only really care about convincing somebody not to do harm. And if we're talking about like specifically the Christian God, because like Abrahamic Christian faith is the big one in the United States and Canada too. Like that's the big one here, which is why we typically argue against that. Because what was the fucking thing for a few years was like, why don't you argue against Islam? Because we don't fucking have it here in the same amount. Sorry. It's not the thing that is changing legislation over in fucking Kansas, but Christianity is. I want to convince that person to not use the argument that their God cares about a thing to rip away women's rights. Whether that's making them an atheist or whether that's taking that person and just shifting their
turning them
perspective
into
on what their
James
God
Tellerico.
believes. Yeah, whether it's shifting their belief in what their God might want, whether it's changing their morality, or whether it's stripping away their God belief, whatever method leads to them ceasing the harm that they are doing, that is where I am at. Because, like, for every diehard shitty Christian, you can also find a diehard shitty atheist per capita. I have to say per capita because there are fewer atheists than there are Christians. So
Defeated by per capita again.
because like I don't want somebody who has a bunch of shitty beliefs to just become the next atheism is unstoppable. Where they're like, yes, I'm an atheist, but I also don't believe that the black man that got shot was jogging. Like, I don't want you to turn into that.
Hey, atheism is unstoppable was ahead of his time, okay? As far as wokeness goes. He canceled Lawrence Krauss way before any of the rest of us did. I don't know if you remember that. I don't remember why. It was some stupid thing. Like, this is actually because like I've told you all back in the 2016 and before era, I was bit on the right wing. And I did watch AIU quite a bit. That was the thing that got me to stop watching him because like he was just so self-important about it. So like it wasn't just like, I don't like this thing that Lawrence Krauss did, so I'm taking him out of my banner. It was like he put out a whole video, did a whole production where he like animated Lawrence Krauss like slowly dropping out of the banner as he explained why, and he made it sound like this was going to be a devastating blow to Lawrence's ego. And I'm just like,
But barely anybody knows
probably
about the
doesn't-
stupid kangaroo man anymore.
yeah, like I forget how many subscribers he had, but it wasn't it wasn't a hell of a lot. So I'm like, I would be very surprised if Lawrence Krauss is even aware of your existence, and you think he's going to be upset that you're taking him out of your little banner thing?
Yeah.
Like, but still, he
Okay, what the fuck? No, stupid. I have said this before, and I'll say it again. The person that invented autoplay should have been garroted with piano wire. No. Autoplay is stupid. The fact that I am uploading a video on Patreon doesn't mean that I want it to immediately play. I know what the fuck I shot. Stop.
that's Firefox has an advantage there. 'Cause,
Well, I'm working on mobile right now, so...
okay, well, uploading videos through mobile, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, no, Firefox just kiboshes autoplay by default. There's probably is a way to turn it on, but like, one of the things in Chrome-based browsers is that, like, if you open a bunch of YouTube videos that you want to like you see a bunch on your homepage that you're all interested in, so you open them in new tabs with the intention of going through them. If you click on the wrong one, it just automatically starts playing. I hate that. Firefox doesn't do that.
Sean says, I mean, laptops have more space than your phone. Right, but so the thing is, when I'm doing my Patreon videos are almost always vlogs. So it's usually shot on my phone when I would be shooting a vlog. So just like I'm in the car talking about everything going on the channel. The data's on my phone, so it's just easiest to upload it from the phone. And once it's there, clicking on the Patreon app and throwing the thing on the app is also the easiest next step to do.
Yeah, I just hate doing anything on the phone, so I wouldn't even record. So Sacker would like me to remind everybody that Lawrence Krauss and Dawkins are both in the Epstein files for complaining about Rebecca Watson, which I'm pretty sure Rebecca Watson was the elevator gate person.
I think so.
Where, like, if you're not familiar with elevator gate, you're so lucky. But that was a thing where, like, Rebecca Watson was at a conference and she gave a talk on respecting women. And as an example, she brought up, like, I was giving a similar talk at a different conference, and a guy approached me in an elevator, and, like, specifically my talk was on, like, not doing things like what this guy did. And he, like, came up and was like, "Oh, I loved your talk. Would you like to come back to my room for coffee?" And, like, in a enclosed trap space or whatever. And she he approached her in the elevator. It made her uncomfortable. She talked about it. She did not name him. She did not say, "See, all men are terrible because this is the kind of thing that they do." She just used that as an example of how, like, men a lot of times are just completely blind to, like, they will hear the words that they're saying but not listen. So, like, at the talk about not being sexist and making women feel comfortable, that's not the time to proposition someone in an enclosed space.
Yep.
Apparently Firefox's mobile app is much better than it used to be. And then Dawkins, like, it was a complete nothing burger. She was just like, "Hey, that's an example of a thing not to do." Didn't call him out, didn't call for him to be canceled or whatever. And Dawkins freaked out and wrote a tweet where he was, like, pretending to talk to a Muslim woman in the Middle East, being like, "Oh yeah, you know, you are in a culture that doesn't treat you as a human being, but this person was offered coffee." And, like, he was being all sarcastic, and it's like, fuck off, Dawkins.
The fact that you can't understand what it means is evidence of your position in that conversation. If you can't fathom why being propositioned for anything in the middle of something like that, when there is an expectation that you are worried about, if you can't see why that would make somebody uncomfortable, then
Yeah,
I want to be the person that says I don't need to explain why that's something that you should understand, but at the same time, obviously it needs to be explained.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole point of his post was essentially, like, there are people in the world that have it worse than you, so stop complaining. But, like, that is true of literally everything that you could possibly complain about.
Yeah, I don't need to hear life advice from actually eugenics would work really, Dawkins.
But I can read the Dear Muslima letter if you want. I pulled it
Sure,
up.
why not?
Dear Muslima, stop whining, will you? Yes, I know you had your genitals mutilated with a razor blade, and yawn, don't tell me yet again, I know you aren't allowed to drive a car, and you can't leave the house without a male relative, and your husband is allowed to beat you, and you'll be stoned to death if you commit adultery, but stop whining, will you? Think of the suffering of your poor American sisters... think of the suffering your poor American sisters have to put up with. Only this week I heard of one. She calls herself Skepchick, and do you know what happened to her? A man in a hotel elevator invited her back to his room for coffee. I'm not exaggerating. He really did. He invited her back to his room for coffee. Of course, she said no, and of course he didn't lay a finger on her, but even so. And you, Muslima, think you have misogyny to complain about? For goodness sake, grow up, or at least grow a thicker skin. Richard.
I also think there's an aspect to this that's frustrating because people don't seem to realize, or at least back then didn't seem to realize, that things like this have layers. You can have a type of misogyny where it feels like it's completely not a problem at all for you. But then if you look about it for even a second on the other side of that conversation, okay, this person's just propositioning me for coffee, but they want me to go into a enclosed space away from anybody else. Why would I do that? I don't know if I feel safe doing that. If you can't think of that, if you can't understand that, that's just a little fucking frustrating. But again, the fact that somebody has something worse, the fact that somebody has a situation that is worse than your current situation right now, is not and has never been a good defeater for whether or not a problem is bad or exists. I stubbed my toe. Well, people have cancer.
Yeah, but my toe still hurts.
It's like, you didn't stop my toe from hurting, so we still have an issue.
I mean, I will admit that I have fallen into this occasionally with the kids. I mean, like, oh, you don't like the food that's in front of you? Well, you know what? There's starving people in Africa that would be happy to eat it.
Right, but the food
it's kind
being
of
in
the same
front of
thing.
you, but the food being in front of you isn't a slight or a problem. There is a benefit in front of you, and your worry is that the benefit was not the flavor of benefit that you wanted, versus a stubbed toe where there's no benefit at all. There is just suffering. There's just a form of suffering.
No, God works to bring everything together for good. So your stubbed toe had a purpose, and you will be a better person for having stubbed your toe.
I appreciate that perspective. No.
All right. That's a long time for one tweet, so let's move on.
Yeah, let's go.
Ben Zeisloft said, North Korea's birth rate, 1.8 children per woman. South Korea's birth rate, 0.8 children per woman. In other words, feminism is more destructive to a culture than dictatorial communism.
No, unless if you're saying that the only measurement we can ever possibly have for how good a culture is doing is how many babies they're having, then
yeah, like,
I'm sorry, I can't.
1.8
How do you function?
1.8 children per woman with no food versus 0.8 children per woman with all the food that they need. One of those is better, but he seems to think that the more children is the one that's better. Also, it is worth mentioning that we can't necessarily trust the data coming out of North Korea.
Yeah.
So, like, it would not surprise me at all if that's not the birth rate, and I suspect that if it were lower, it would be due to malnutrition.
Yeah, man. Fucking hell. Again, what is the obsession with birth rate? What is...
I don't know. Great replacement shit? So if you're not having enough kids, then you're going to be replaced by the barbarian horde that we heard about earlier?
It's gotta be. Like, it has to be something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, Bridget Gabriel says, there was a time not that long ago when Democrats were running on increasing gas prices and forcing Americans onto electric vehicles.
Forcing them on? I mean,
So I don't recall there ever being a campaign saying we are going to increase gas prices to get you to drive electric. There definitely have been campaigns to get people to drive electric, but not.
At least not a concerted campaign.
I mean,
where that was a heavy focus.
There has definitely been stuff where it's like gas prices are high. Wouldn't it be nice to not have to pay them? But like, it's never been we are going to raise gas prices to make you not have to pay them.
Yeah.
But
I love it when people lie.
Yeah, I was in the the replies to this one, and it was making me lose faith in humanity. And then I remembered that they're all just bots, because it's Twitter. It's Twitter. Like, wouldn't surprise me if like 90% of the people on there still are bots.
Unfortunate.
Eric Kahn says, fathers have a responsibility to protect the sexual purity of their daughters. Virginity is a precious gift given to the husband who receives her hand at the wedding.
I'm just going to say right now, if you're a dad that thinks about your daughter having sex enough for this to be your primary concern,
then
I have questions,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I want them answered.
Yeah, well, I want them answered in a court of law.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't
Fennec,
think you
no.
should be that obsessed.
No, Fennec. Down. I don't know what he's referring to, but I see in all caps he says, oh, hold on, got a weird thing for this. And I hope that's with regards to the last tweet, not this one. But, and Lord of Uzkalak is bringing up a good point. What about the purity of their sons? Why is it only ever daughters?
Sons, spread your seed as far as you can. Daughters, don't accept seed from any other man. Some shit.
Like, it's an impossible double standard, because, like, boys are expected to have sex at some point during their teenage years.
Yep.
And they don't seem to have an issue with that. They don't need to protect their son's virginity. It's always about the daughters. And it's like,
Yep.
The only thing I want to know about any of my kids' sex lives is that they have enough information to do whatever they're doing safely.
Like, do you feel like you are informed and consenting about the thing you're doing? Okay, cool. Just please use protection. Like that. That's the conversation. That's as far as I'm not a parent, but that's as far as I'd be comfortable going.
I would go one step further and be like, don't have sex with anyone unless you know that they are going to be on board with an abortion should the contraceptive fail.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's an important aspect of that doesn't really get talked about a whole lot.
Make sure that you and this person are on the same page about where this is going.
Purity cultures, yet another outbreak of misogyny. Yep. Okay. Fennec found the weird thing. I've been blocked by network security. Sorry, Fennec. Can't open it.
That's funny.
I got the little guy in the hat crossing his arms at me.
Just Jurassic Park starts playing. You didn't say the magic word.
Yep, exactly. So, sorry, Fennec. Institute for Creation Research says, from the first marine layers to the later land animals, the fossil record tells the story of a rising global flood. Okay, what about the marine layers that are later with the land animals?
Also,
like, where it's like marine and then desert and then more marine.
Like, also, can you please find me the scientific literature where this is what is the consensus amongst everybody that doesn't have a predisposed understanding that they need to come to the conclusion of a global flood.
But it's the non-creationist ones that have that conclusion. They have the evolutionist presuppositions, and you can't get anything published in a secular journal unless you come to the evolutionary conclusions.
Yeah,
just never mind the fact
projection.
that all the creationist journals explicitly say you have to come to creationist conclusions in the submission criteria, whereas the secular journals just say you have to, like, have something of novel importance or whatever.
Yeah, we call this projection.
Yeah.
You have this unique problem, okay? So what about you? No. We don't have that problem. We don't presuppose anything. Oh, so you don't presuppose the flood? No? Okay. I think you're lying, but okay. Sure.
Oh, okay. Apparently, the thing that Fennec tried to send was a picture of a dad proposing to his daughter with a purity ring, complete with getting down on one knee, and it was a 20-year-old
That's
daughter.
fucking weird.
That I have seen those things before. It is weird. It is gross. Even when I was a Christian who thought that you should wait until marriage, I thought it was weird and gross.
I want you to promise me, my daughter, that you will not give up your vagina to a vagabond. Okay? Why? Why do you care?
For her future husband.
A vagabond.
So Chuck Schumer posted a month ago the national price of gasoline was $2.93 a gallon. Today it's $3.94. One man is to blame, Donald Trump. Kevin Sorbo said, "Hey Grok, how many times did Chuck Schumer post about gas prices during the Biden administration?" And you want to see
Did
Grok's
Biden
answer?
start a war?
Well-
I forgot.
No, but there was a mild energy crisis in like 2022 where gas prices did get up pretty high. And the reason I know that is because Grok responded, "During Biden's term, Schumer posted about gas prices at least 15 times per my X search. At least 10 times were in 2022 alone, where prices peaked at $5 a gallon, blaming big oil profiteering, gouging, and pushing FTC probes plus oil CEO hearings." So yeah, when Biden didn't start a war with a major oil producer of the world, gas prices went up, and Chuck Schumer posted about it. He didn't directly blame the Biden administration because that wasn't just as simple as we bombed a country that supplies us with oil. But then Trump comes along, bombs a country that supplies us with oil, and now gas prices are up. So like, yeah, you could technically say that the cause is multifaceted or whatever, but it does come back to one guy. Maybe two, if you include
It's
Netanyahu.
multifaceted in that Donald Trump has at least more than one brain cell. There's multiple things going on.
I'm not sure I'd go that far, Cyrus.
Look, we talked about unsubstantiated claims earlier, and I'm willing to make an unsubstantiated claim right now.
Okay, that is definitely an
There's at least
unsubstantiated
two.
claim.
There's at least two there, and they are struggling.
I don't know that I would give him that. When Sean Helfand says more reason why I dislike Schumer. That's the thing, like, dunking on Schumer is super easy. But like in this case, yeah, he posted about gas prices under Biden. So like, you're just wrong. Thanks, Kevin Sorbo. You're an idiot.
Yeah, we just like did we get the criteria? Did we do the thing you needed, buddy? Do you want a cookie too? Like,
Yeah.
there you go.
But I mean, like, you know what I feel most when I think of Senator Schumer?
That thing between your legs, or
No.
Something else.
What I feel most when I think about Senator Schumer is disappointed.
I feel like that's what you feel with Sorbo specifically.
I mean
but,
him
you know.
too, but are you telling me you don't feel disappointed with Schumer?
I mean, disappointed's not the word. Angry, yes, but disappointed.
Disappointed just assumes that you had any level of hope in the first place.
If I didn't have that hope in the first place, I wouldn't do advocacy for the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
I have a layer of hope, and I have to.
Okay. Yes, Dark Falcon, I know I lost my hat. Shh. If you point it out, people will make me wear another one. Trader Tony posted, "ICE at airports is just laying the groundwork for ICE at polling places, by the way." Which, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
There's the hats. Thank you, Sean.
it's normalization. It's
And then Lauren Chen retweeted that saying, "So there are illegal immigrants at the polling places," with the picture of that's from Inglorious Bastards. But Cyrus, do you know what kind of uniform this gentleman is wearing?
it's an SS uniform, isn't it?
I believe it is, because the gentleman in this movie was playing a Nazi. So the fact that she's using a Nazi to be like, it's like basically it's mask off at this point. They're
It's
just
like, oh, so you're telling me you just tell everybody that you disagree with that they're a Nazi. Okay, but I disagree with you.
and I'm
and I
using
also-
a Nazi to emphasize that because I am a
Also-
Nazi.
This is Lauren Chen, the person who took millions of dollars from Russia in order to spread pro-Russia propaganda in the United States.
Okay,
And
Sean
that was
Helfand,
confirmed.
I know you made me wear the hat, Sean, but I am aware of this. But I didn't say anything about Sherlock. Okay, I'm just wearing a deerstalker cap. That's all it is. Have we seen Gary tonight? He was the first hat. But yeah, no, she's just mask off at this point. I'm using Nazis to make my points for me.
Yep.
It's like,
But like with everything else, if we point that out, somebody's going to say, it's just a funny movie. Like, yeah, it is just a funny movie, but there's a reason that they're choosing that.
yeah, there are so many people that made a similar face at some point in their career in the movies that you could have selected from. There are many of them. Many of them come in GIF form, where they are making, like, funny movements to accentuate it. And would have made the point even better than this image would have. But she made the conscious choice to use an image of a Nazi.
Yup. Fantastic.
Tim Pool. So Tim Pool says, we've known for 10 minutes that Google was found liable, but news outlets have yet to publish on it. So Google was found liable. Google and Meta were found liable for causing a woman's social media addiction, and they've been fined, or like they've been ordered to pay her $6 million. That's what this is about. So 10 minutes ago, we found out that Google is liable, but news outlets have yet to publish on it. Just that a verdict was reached, not what the verdict was. X is the now news outlets are dead. So, few things here. First and foremost, when I'm looking for
Elon's dick.
Okay, yeah, there's that. But when I look for my news, like when I'm actually looking for news, I want that news to be like I would prioritize accuracy over speed. Like,
yeah.
I don't care if it took an extra 20 minutes. If they get the facts right and the guy that published right away is wrong, like that's why there was, I forget which shooting it was, but there was a shooting that happened just before we went live one time, and we did not talk about it that week because it just happened. We don't know anything about it. It would be irresponsible to talk about it. And we're not even a professional news organization. So, yeah, I would prefer that my news outlets be a little bit delayed in order to get the details right. But also, I took the screenshot. The time is hard to read, so I wrote it bigger there. I took the screenshot at 5:23 p.m. BBC published 4 hours ago, so that would be 1:23 p.m., where if we look at the time that he sent this, it was 1:30. So 7 minutes before Tim Pool sent this, BBC published it. Meta and YouTube found liable in social media addiction trial.
So you're telling me that Tim Pool lied?
That's
so weird.
I don't know that I would raise this to the level of a lie. I would say that he's just such an idiot that he scrolled Twitter, saw the people talking about it, but did not see links to news outlets. So he assumed that the news outlets hadn't published on it yet. So he posted about that.
How do you think the people at the random fuckers on X knew that something had happened? Because somebody posted about it on a news outlet.
Yeah. So like this is another one of those things where like I have seen it happen so many times, excuse me, where someone will post something with a link to a news article about something bad happening or whatever, and they'll be like, nobody is covering this. You're like, you just posted a link to a news article.
Somebody covered it.
Like you posted a link to a news article covering it. What do you mean nobody's covering it?
Why is nobody talking about this? Okay, but how did you find out? Because somebody talked about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like unless you are a reporter on the ground, you heard about it from someone who was covering it.
Many such cases.
Mark Fernkoff is shocked that we're not a professional news organization.
Nope, we are not. We get things wrong.
We are just as professional as some people that have White House credentials, so we may as well be.
Yeah.
So
Diana says a lie is halfway around the world while the truth is just getting its shoes on. And the other half of that is that it is often so much harder to disassemble a lie than it is to say it. It takes way more effort to go into the reasons why somebody is wrong than it is to just say a wrong thing. This is why in debate, the Gish Gallop is such a popular tactic.
This is why I have videos that are an hour long responding to a video that's 10 minutes long. Because they'll say a thing and then be like, oh, well, that's wrong because of this, which was informed by that, which was informed by that. There's this whole big pile of stuff. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I have to get into many things here in order to go over the. Oh, that is not a good feeling.
You okay?
That is a
You still sick?
one of my complaints has been that we have air conditioning now. One of my mods, Dorito, came up, and because they have HVAC certifications and they know this shit, the unit that I bought they were able to install, and so we have air conditioning now and heat, and the electricity's been redone, and hopefully my power bill's not $600 some odd dollars
Can
over and
Dorito
over
come
again
help me
now.
with my office in the garage? Because I am going to need to put a split heat pump in there.
Well, that's what this house is ran on now.
Yeah, that's what I need.
But one of my frustrations has been that despite the fact that the house is now more comfortable and therefore I should be able to function better, I also got sick, like right afterwards. So today, everything that I've done has caused me to break out in cold sweats and have brain fog and stupid dumb shit. And
I mean, I have brain fog because the kids all just Heidi's kids are still young enough that sometimes they will crawl into bed with her, which also happens to be with me, but they don't want me. And honestly, I'm kind of grossed out by kids, so I don't want them.
Fennec, if you were here for the beginning,
But
the first thing that I got into on stream was saying, I hate living in a world where every time you mention you're sick or you have any symptoms at all, the first words out of anybody's mouth.
That was actually the end of your stream before we joined together. That wasn't the beginning of mine.
Yeah, beginning of mine. Fennec's in my chat.
Okay.
But Fennec said, did you test for the plague? I pointed out the frustration that I live in a world where the first words out of anybody's mouth are, have you tested for COVID? But I also can never be frustrated with anybody that says that, because all of us have the shared trauma of the world being shut down by a fucking plague. So of course the first things out of any of our mouths is going to be that. I want to be frustrated that I have to hear that every time, but I can't be, because all of us lived through that shit. And we developed habits as a result of it, and it sucked for all of us.
Yeah. But anyway, my point in saying that is both the kids ended up in bed last night, which means I ended up on the couch, and I just didn't sleep, basically. So I'm exhausted.
That sucks.
So, yeah. I'm happy to hurry through the rest of these, too.
Fair enough. Oh, hi, Lori.
Back. Says, a guy interviewed women in skimpy bikinis and guys at the beach. What were the guys wearing, Lori? Why is it only important what the women were wearing? I'll bet you the guys were topless.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Don't worry. Guys are able to do whatever the hell they want. Women, on the other hand, purity culture.
And he asked the first woman if she could name if she could name one guy she'd hooked up with in the past 6 nights, and she couldn't. So I know that this is like supposed to be like, oh, she slept with so many people she can't remember any of them. But the way I read that the first time was like, I haven't hooked up with anyone in the last 6 nights, so no, I can't. So, which that would be what Lori would want. But I don't know. Could be either way. I'm assuming this is one of those man on the street things where guys ask cute girls that they find in public super inappropriate questions with the hopes that that they'll at least be nice because there's a camera on them.
Yeah.
Which this is super scummy kind of content. So like, I'm going to be on board. Like, I'm going to be on the same side as Lori as this, is that like that type of content should not exist. But like the activity that woman was engaging in, she's being safe. That's fine. One guy said he got drunk every night. They think this is fun. Short-term pleasure for long-term pain. Reject this, young women.
what's the long-term pain? How did we get to? Because like,
Well, if
I
you have sex,
remember
there's a danger that you might have a child, and that is long-term pain.
yeah, I understand that, but I thought that's something that they were trying to advocate for happening more often anyway.
Yeah, judging by the friggin' birth rate tweet, you'd think.
I don't know. I remember seeing advertisements about that in my school where it was like a night of one night of pleasure for a like lifetime of pain, and I
So
just where is the pain? What is the pain that I'm supposed to be experiencing?
there's two routes that could take. One is that you are now emotionally scarred and can never be whole or whatever until you accept Jesus and he makes your virginity regrow
someone.
or whatever. That's the first thing, which anyone who has had sex is like, yeah, okay, sex is cool, but like, it's just sex. Like it's not emotionally damaging. It's just a thing that happens.
Like it's a thing that happens. Worst case scenario, you'll find out that you're demi. That's what happened to me.
Yeah, and then on the other side of the coin, this is the one that is actually more likely to actually be a thing that happens. You could get an STI. And
yeah, but at that point, the answer is use protection.
Yeah, and also most STIs are treatable nowadays, and those that aren't are manageable. So like, absolute worst case scenario, you end up having to take PrEP. So like, okay, it's a medication.
Yeah.
No big deal. Isn't it wonderful that we live in a society that is advanced medically to a point where that's a thing that you can do? Just take medicine and be okay.
Yeah. Trace James says, "Is sex cool? I tried it. It was boring as fuck." See, like, I understand the idea of like there being an emotional weight behind it, but the idea that there's an emotional weight behind it is also informed by the same purity culture that's the problem in the first place. Again, worst case scenario, you'll find out you're demi. I mean, there's probably other worst case scenarios, but like not counting STIs,
yeah,
you find out you're demi
like,
and you realize that you actually do have that emotional attachment.
This is assuming all things are consensual, of course. Like it
Yeah.
can be very emotionally damaging if it's not consensual, but at that point, it's not the victim's fault.
At that point, you have a different set of problems.
It's not the victim's fault at that point, so you can't. I mean, she probably would blame the victim, but okay. Anyway, Lori's the last one.
Oh shit.
So, yeah, we done.
Fair enough. Then I hate to cut things short on my end for stream as well, but I need to go lay down because I'm in this. Not only am I not feeling well, I'm not allowed to take painkillers for the next amount of time. I don't know what the amount of time is, at least until I get a blood test. They said something was wrong with my liver, and they don't know what, so they need to do a blood test to figure it out, and I can't be on anything that would fuck with the blood test.
And Tylenol will do that.
Nope. Yep, so
it'll also make your tism worse.
Painkillers for me. It will make the tism worse. I heard that as well. That was a... Thank you, Donald Trump, for reminding me of how important it is to keep my tism in check.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for joining me. Go get some rest. And as always, fuck off.